Welcome to the video. I'm Ground and Clear. We are recording from Germany right now, and I thought since I normally do German topic videos in German language, I will do one in English and update you all on the energetic situation of the country right now. I'm in Christ. I'm feeling very good wherever I go. That wasn't always the case. Germany and the energetic field and spiritual heaviness is notoriously known as one of the heaviest worldwide, and I have traveled far and wide around the world recently, all the way to Afghanistan and overseas. And I must say that Germany has a special heaviness to it, and there's a lot to say where all of that came from and originates from. But it is definitely a reason why many bright, lightful, and even Christian people leave the country. And many of the few peers that I can see at an eye level with, there's not many, but I met some. They're also teachers, they're healers, they are doing careers in other fields, very inspiring people. They're all already left and they're living in Bali. Right now, they're in beautiful islands around the world. They went to Mexico. Even leaving Germany and going over the border to Austria or Italy brings a relief for a weekend. That's why many of us go. And I'm not saying that Germany is all bad, don't get me wrong, but when you're doing this highly sensitive and high vibrational work, there needs to be a balance between replenishing in yourself and also having time to rest and relax. And when the field around you is so heavy, there's almost no chance you get to do that. For example, I would land from the airport, the driver that usually picks me up, who I love, like I leave my car at theirs, but they pick me up and bring me to my car. The second I get into his car, he would be telling me all the bad things that happened since I've been gone, like about his life and just complain. And he is even one of the more positive people in Germany. But that's like all they do, like complain to each other or gossip or bitch or, there is not really just smiles and gratitude that you know from other places as a default. That's hard to find. And the ones that have it, they they usually have some other issues, like they need to force it with like alcohol or something to get into a good mood. And I want to do a little status report on the field in Germany because now has been like a full moon. I feel like things are moving. A lot of people are seeking for relief from this heaviness, for brighter frequencies, for new hope. And I can see that it's genuine, but it's also misguided. That's why this video is vital and important. And I gladly take the time to record this because this affects not only Germany, like this is some patterns that are commonly seen also in other Western European countries or even overseas. So you will find yourself in this information if you're already watching now. Germany is under a dense, turbulent, energetic layer right now, and this hunger for new light that I described is kind of capped still with a heavy resistance and ancestral clutter that hasn't been cleared yet. And that is a collective issue, but also an individual one where everybody has their own bloodline that they're responsible for because that's what you were born into. It's in your DNA. And if you have bloodline curses, you need to resolve those. As everybody knows, we had war here. We have been involved as a country. There's still these fields of war grief stored in the cells of people, stored in the collective memory, and even like, it's not visible, but it's feelable in the atmosphere almost. And an identity fragmentation. There's not really like a clear identity that people know who they are and who they are allowed to be authentically, because you cannot be all that. Like, how can you be proud to be German? How can you be proud to be from a nation that has brought the brightest scientists, inventors, engineers, that has an intuitive knowing for hierarchical order, structure, design, that makes sense, that is a leader quality, you cannot be proud of that possibly or start to embody it fully when you have all that history. It starts with small things like not being allowed school uniforms to wear, but it continues later when you grow up and you cannot be associating with all these values because something in you blocks you from fully embodying that, and you don't even consciously know what it is. So this affects a lot of people and they don't even know how to address it or articulate it. But especially in the big cities, Berlin, Hamburg, Munich, where these nodes are, this is coming up more and more. Many souls and their whole families and lineages are starting to feel increasingly unstable now because we have a lot of energetic shifts happening in the world, and all of this stuff is coming up right now. They're searching for light now, but now what happens is that they get misguided and they grab for the wrong ones for relief. So they're going to yoga class, they're going to tantra course, they're going to neo-mystic schools, they're going to energy healers, alternative medicine doctors that are not in Christ. And that is an issue because that again will not bring relief. It just brings a sidetrack and entangling in the new age. So the false light activity has been spiking, and I've been seeing this pop up like even in the villages. You have like little yoga studios now, but nobody prays together. Nobody is talking about God, about Christ. But it's very easy to find like goat yoga, stand-up paddle yoga, hot yoga. Like I used to go to those, like I'm not saying I'm without sin. First one to admit, I started my New Year's with hot yoga and I went to energy healers too. But I realized that that brought no relief. That is not healing. That is not freeing my bloodline. That is not freeing me. That is not giving me the protection in this heavy field of Germany that I needed. So this false light is bringing out more confusion than was already there before. So all of this integrated spiritual Europe, people traveling for retreats and stuff, or even starting that in private, we call them Schwurbler, Esoterica, spiritual people. It's a dangerous sidetrack. What also is happening in Germany right now is the heightened polarity imbalance. Femininity, masculinity are more fucked up than you could possibly imagine. The women's fields and the men's fields are not balanced in a healthy polarity as has been designed by God. Collectively, the women's field is opening rapidly to spiritual growth and healing. Like the women are leading the wave. Like we've been seeing that for years. Even when I started 5-6 years ago, my soul was like putting on the turbo engine. There was almost no men doing this kind of work. It was mostly women. And we were all wondering what the men gonna do, like if we do all the work. But that is a past phase. Now the women are still leading the wave as more women interested in, like finding solutions and realizing the deep need for healing out of personal pain and circumstances, out of the soul nudging them, out of the information that's more commonly available now. And social media is helping a lot with that. But there's so much misinformation too out there, especially for like toxic femininity, really bad advice, like coming from hijacked, dark, false light femininity. I will do another video on that. But they are attracting mimicry and jealousy as well still. It's not healthy femininity in sisterhood and in Christ, where you really contempt. The masculine fields, they are still spiritually weak. Like the masculinity and the straight spine, the erected masculine spine that is the axis that is anchoring and the strong pole and should be the spiritual spine of the household is notoriously weak in Germany. Like they either like bend so easy, they are like half feminine or like a quarter feminine, like like almost covertly gay. like have no leadership to show because they're not allowed to step into it. Like all of that past energetics is still pressing on the field, and they associate being a strong leader with a Führer, with a bad thing, unconsciously. Or what has been described as strong male qualities in the German military, now you cannot live that anymore. It will be regarded as negative almost. So they try to be inclusive and wear nail polish and be like gendering, and all of that is a complete brainwash rot, a spiritual attack on the true masculine that is strong, protective of the women, of the children, that has a connection with God, with Christ, that is creating order, structure, speed, leadership, and provision. There's so many videos going around saying German guys don't provide, and all of that is like fringe stuff. Like, I'm talking on a higher level here, but this is what you see on TikTok, like talking about dates with German guys and stuff like that. So that's the one extreme, or the other extreme is that the masculine feels harshly controlling. Like, they try to assert the lack of spiritual depth through dominance and control. So that is like a coping mechanism, but it's not the true spiritual strength, because when you are in your masculine, embodied, you're in Christ, you walk in the room and the people know daddy's home, like period. There's no doubt and no need to assert extreme control or to like check others or like go over there and bother them like people do in the gym sometimes. Like, you're not even on the machine, but they come to you and they're like, are you done with that machine, just to like check you and assert dominance over the space. And you would be like, duh, like, I'm not even working out over there, like, don't bother me. But this is like the typical weak masculine dominant behavior that comes from a need to make up for something that are not truly energetically. But a true masculine is like, when a king walks into the room. For the women, they feel safe. They feel their body relaxes. You're like, suddenly you breathe deeper. Suddenly you feel softer, and your mind starts to be quiet, and you feel in your body, and like, I'm safe. I'm safe to express my needs. I'm safe to express my feelings, and they're not on alert. Like, when you're standing next to a false dominant or like overly controlling masculine, you feel kind of weirded out. Like, your nervous system might be like shaky. You're like checking like what's happening next. Like, it's not truly safe for women. Also, this creates weird dynamics with other men. So this is like a extreme that I'm describing here that's also present in Germany. And I feel like the bureaucratic emphasis and like the tools that people are given to kind of torture others, like with emails and stuff like that, is enhancing that as well, the technology that's being used to do that pattern. So yeah, there is not really like a healthy polarity with men and women being in a true design, and it's a worldwide issue, but in Germany specifically, I think we have the codes for that, and surely people are living this, but there are the few. I'm talking about now the many, the collective. The cities in Germany, like Berlin, Hamburg, Munich, I mentioned, we have more cities, are strong with a surveillance energetics. There's many energetic watchers, human and non-human, that are, kind of like making people feel even more burdened. It's hard to describe, but you're not truly at peace or feeling protected when you're not in Christ, because there's so much going on. Like, this is where the frequency blasts hit the hardest. And I used to have colleagues living in the middle of Berlin, in Alexanderplatz, for example. I was like, girl, like, how do you do that? How do you live there? And she was like, it's constant work every day. Like, I have to shield myself and stuff, because there's so much going on. And some of the people that anchor light they protect others around them, but truly you have to pray for yourself. Yeah, but everybody has light is becoming more and more visible in the spirit. So prayer is essential, is important, is making the whole difference for the quality of life and even for survival for some people. Germany has a rich nature, and I'm learning more about it, like that we have so many secrets as well for healing, creams, eating healthy, making amazing teas, doing things in the natural rhythm with the moon in nature that is, also stewardship of the land, that honors the land that we have here. These are ancient lands and they want alignment because we still have a deep earth wisdom, many of the people here. And I want to tell you something. When you have earth wisdom in you and you feel like this is your field of interest, you don't have to go into the esoteric spiritual bubble and take the false light track. You can do this as a Christian, because living with Edenic mindset and natural healing, loving the sun, eating meat, like organic foods, making your own supplies, that is very close to God. That is very healing for yourself and your family. And you don't need to go into the spiritual bubbles to live that. You can do it, just start where you are. And the collective consciousness, another point. We are tired as a people, and people are being worn out by what they feel like is not stable, like the politics, the climate, the economy. If you put emphasis on that, and if you focus on that too much, like you can destabilize yourself very easy. So it's important to anchor and root in Christ, and all of that just feels like a little breeze. Because in the spirit there's great hunger now, and you need to anchor that properly so that it can all come. So yeah, to summarize it, Germany's energetic field is at a pivotal moment right now. Also a reason why I'm starting these videos. And I'm here and not leaving to go to Mexico, live on the beach just yet. But we have a lot to do here. There's dense ancestral grief, rising false lights, big threat, big trap from the enemy, hungry seekers but heavily confused, and the confusion is so hard to see through when you're in it, because those spirits give you like all these false illusions about a rational track or false insight through New Age practices or intellectual superiority. Germany is very big on that. So you think just because you have a philosophy degree that you actually know stuff, but you're not in Christ, so how can you know the highest truth? And so on. And even the land itself, like the earth, the trees, like the waters we have, are looking for proper stewardship. Like they haven't been governed by light in the right way for a long time, unless there's pockets of people living already doing that there. And all of the light carriers must do one thing right now: come to Christ, and that's it. No mix, no blend, no a little bit of Christ, a little bit of New Age, a little bit of this and that. No, full alignment, no mixture, very clear, so that the false unities and these like lies will collapse and the kingdom clarity can come through. The kingdom of Christ. This is a time to stand visibly in truth, which is also why I have to do these videos now. But also do it, with protection. So pray up and find others to pray with. I know easier said than done, but it's definitely rising right now. I don't know why it is in English, but if you have friends in Germany, send this video to them, follow the channel, and subscribe, like, support. and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. God bless you.